Hello there. Sandy River Belle. It's a beautiful melody and it's the kind of tune you do not have to rush to play. It just goes along ever so nice, rather like one of those wonderful paddle steamers going up and down the Mississippi. So it kind of reminds me of that. I'm always reminded of John Hartford whenever I play this tune. I don't know why. Maybe it was just his laid-back style. Anyway, Sandy River Belle. So we don't need to be in a rush to play it. It's in the key of D, a couple of sharps, and it relies upon long bow strokes, or fairly long bow strokes. So what I'm going to do first is play the tune in a sort of fairly basic manner, and then kind of work my way through it with you if you fancy learning it. Okay, so this is what the tune sounds like. As I say, it's one of those sort of tunes you can just play when you're feeling relaxed and you're just in the mood to play a pleasant melody. This is where Sandy River Belle comes in. I think it's from the old-time American tradition. Certainly every source that I've found of this tune is taken from the old-time tradition. So if you're interested in old-time fiddle, this might be a good one for you. You can, of course, put loads of drone notes in this. In other words, you can play the melody on one string and you can play the open string next to it, which is rather nice. It gives it a nice sort of resonant sound, allows the fiddle to really sing out. Anyway, so let's work our way through it. So the first part of the tune, we've got this run up. Nothing too hard there, really. If you can, try and play more than one note with each bow stroke. Try and play at least two if you can. Maybe when you're playing that part, you have to play one bow stroke per note. So starting from the top, 3, 4. So the second phrase there, we go down at the end rather than going up. So the first phrase is this. That's the first phrase, and this is the second. I think the third is a repeat of the first phrase. And then we stay on the A string. So we're only playing on the bottom 3 strings at the moment, the G, the D and the A. So from the top again, 3, 4. hopefully there was nothing there that presented you with too much difficulty. You might find it a little bit tricky when you go from the D string to the A string perhaps, but the more you play this tune, the more it kind of falls into line. So I'm going to play the A section again from the beginning. 3, 4. The important thing really is to try and maintain that rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And not be too rushing with your bowing. Just kind of let it go with the rhythm of the tune to sort of, and it will sort out what notes should be held longer and what notes should be held shorter. Even though, of course, the musical notation does tell you anyway. So the B section now, we go on to the A string. That's the first phrase, and we play from the A string to the D string, A string up to the E string and back to the A string. 3, 4. And we pretty much repeat it again. And we go up. And then we repeat the first phrase. And the final phrase. So your first phrase is repeated after you play the second phrase, and then finally you finish on that third one, so fourth one I should say. So it's not too tricky. I'll play that B section again. 3, 4. Okay, so let's put A and B back together now and play them back to back. Are you ready? 3, 4. Again. B section now. Repeat. we've gone right the way through the tune. Now let's try adding some drone notes. Now, as I said before, drone notes basically are you're playing the open string next to the melody. So if you're playing this, you might play the open D and then the open A. And when I went onto the A string, I played the open D. Now, of course, we could put double stops with like chords, but really let's keep it simple, because this is meant to be a simple tutorial, lesson, whatever you like to call it, with this tune. So I'm not going to get too complicated, but we can certainly do those drone notes without any problem, even on the B section. Let's just check out the B section. So while I'm playing the A string, I'm droning the D string. And when I'm playing the melody on the E string, I'm droning the A string. So it really is quite simple. Bow's not too taut, so I can easily hit the two strings together. The only other thing I would suggest you might try and add to this tune are some slides. Wherever you think appropriate. The easiest slides I think to do are the ones you can do with your first finger. And all you're doing is just sliding slightly below the note. I'll demonstrate. So that was one on the B. I was playing the A string, of course, the first note, which is a B, and I was just coming up from below. Now, if you drone that D string at the same time, you get a marvellous effect. I don't know what it is, but when you play an open drone note next to a slide, you get that wonderful harmony between the two strings as they gradually start to pull in to tune with each other. So it's a marvellous effect, and I think that's the key thing about old-time fiddle playing, is that relationship between two strings playing notes at the same time. Certain old-time fiddle tunes sound so good when you play that particular kind of style. Be quiet, phone. Goodness me, these telephones. Mobile phones. Shouldn't call it a telephone, really. I'm showing my age. 25. Anyway, the second part. Be serious. The second part. There's a nice slide there. That's on the D, which is like your third finger on the A string. Your ring finger. So I bring that slide in on the B section of the tune. So there we are. So that kind of just adds a little bit of embellishment. I sometimes slide a unison note in on this, but I found those really hard to learn when I was first learning the fiddle, so I won't talk too much. They are basically where you slide your ring finger up from the third note on the A string to the E. Some people do it with their little finger. I can't do that. I have to use my ring finger. Did you see it there? Took me a while to to actually learn how to do those unison notes. It didn't happen overnight, I can assure you. So please don't worry if you struggle with them, because I certainly did for ages. Anyway, so that's the tune. So shall we play it together? Not too quickly, of course. Well, we don't need to. It's a relaxed melody. Let's go through it. 2 A's, 2 B's. Okay, 3, 4. Sandy River Belle, a really very straightforward, simple version of this tune, which I think is great. If you play that in a session, I don't think too many people will object. I think they'll enjoy playing along with you because it's such an easy melody to pick up and play along with. And yeah, so I think that would be something that you might enjoy playing at a session. Probably not an Irish session, you'll probably get some funny looks, but if you play it at any of the old time sessions, I imagine that that would go down quite well. Well, I hope so anyway, but it's a great tune to learn. Okay, thanks for watching, have fun with your fiddle playing, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye now.